Welcome to the Kit Car History File series, where we'll be going through the industry's past. We'll be visiting old marks of long ago, some modern ones, some mostly older stuff. A lot of archive information with photographs and information on the cars they made, the people involved, and what happened to them. Hi, welcome to the Total Kit Car YouTube channel. My name's Steve Holt, editor of TKC Mag and TotalKitCar.com, and we've got quite a short video for you today. A part of our history file series. I think the car, the model concerned, is fully deserving of its own history file series episode, but it will form part of an overall, shall we say, genre episode 2. Let's put you out of your misery. The car I'm talking about is a Chesil, so we're going to go through. The car's had quite a history, actually, an interesting history. So we'll just cover that off, because a lot of people will maybe assume that one particular manufacturer actually created it, and I realised that Porsche created it in the first place, but you know what I mean in terms of replica form. Before I get any, I think you'll find queries. So let's look at that. First of all, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It really will help the channel out massively. It won't cost you a penny, completely free. And I was looking at something the other day, and I think it's about 75% at the moment of people, casual readers who just readers. There I go again. I guess just leave it. You know what I mean. Humour me. Casual readers who just dip in and out without subscribing. So we'd love you to subscribe. We really welcome you coming to the channel to reacquaint yourself, remind yourself, introduce yourself to cars you didn't know existed, really. And there's been lots of them. Anyway, let's get crack on. Chesil first appeared, this might surprise you, first appeared as way back in 1990 really, when it was creation by National Hot Rod Association Hall of Famer, quite deservedly so, a guy called Chris Boyle. If you haven't heard of the name Chris Boyle, have a Google. He could be someone we'll cover in greater detail, indeed in the magazine and on one of our history file series. He's certainly deserving of that. He's had his hands in all sorts of probably custom flavoured, street rod flavoured kit cars over the years, but he is a serious hot rod personality, Chris. Based down in Poole originally. I do believe someone told me the other day that he may have moved to France. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but he's one of the celebrities of the hot rod game in the UK, is Chris Boyle. Anyway, at one stage he had a company, he created a company actually called Street Beetle. As part of Street Beetle, he came up with his take on a Porsche 356 Speedster. Didn't have it long, probably only sold 3 or 4. I think potentially the idea was always to have an exit with that, and certainly ex-Westland helicopter engineer Peter Bailey, who I think once had a Tramp Beach buggy, which obviously was a Beetle fan all the way along the line. I don't know how he came to buy the Street Beetle, but he certainly fancied the Speedster idea, and in 1991 he set up the Chesil Motor Company. Why Chesil Motor Company? Well, you're probably aware, certainly down in Dorset is Chesil Beach, the Jurassic Coast I think they call it. I can't remember how long Chesil Beach is, but it's very long, beautiful beach. And Peter Bailey was based on a family farm, which was literally, you came out of his barn along his driveway, and the road that you will come onto is the Chesil Beach Road. It winds, it's a higher road anyway, and it's beautiful. You get to see, and we used to say to him, crikey, the car, once someone's come to visit you, the car does enough talking for itself, but by crikey, you see the quality of, or see the beauty of the coastline. If you can hear a dog barking, it's nothing to do with me. I'm actually we're dog sitting this week, so the little dachshund is making himself known, protecting the family, of course. Anyway, Bailey kind of did what he did, and productionized the car into a very slick package. You had to shorten the Beetle floor pan, or chassis, I should say. Yeah, you had to shorten the chassis. Do you know what? I should know, and forgive me for the schoolboy error. Something like 15 3/4 inches out of the Beetle frame. Although Bailey supplied a brand new floor pan, along with a new frame head, incidentally. The company, Chesil Motor Company, would modify the standard torsion bar, giving it replacing those that with trailing arms, which gave it the ability to have adjustment. But customers could choose to use a swing axle equipped Beetle, or as most did, one of Chesil's factory IRS independent rear suspension conversions. Again, going down the route of definitely not assuming that everybody knows what we're talking about here. This is not a closed shop. We like to encompass everybody, so if everybody can have an understanding of what we're talking about in these videos, we don't want to speak in code. Everybody's welcome. So IRS isn't, if you're listening in America, it's nothing to do with someone that you have to pay religiously. It stands for, in this instance, independent rear suspension, and that gave better control over rougher road surfaces, and of those in the UK there are many, as you'll know. Bailey also offered what he called a deluxe rolling chassis, which actually used all brand new parts, as well as a reconditioned gearbox, including pedals and a gear lever. In 1996, I think I've even got the prices actually. A swing axle equipped Chesil kit cost £3,519, with the independent rear conversion coming in at £3,989. So I think for the sake of 460 pounds, it was well worth it. And incidentally, Chris Boyle had just used the Beetle wiring loom, whereas Peter wasn't happy with that, so he swapped to a brand new bespoke made one, purpose built for the car. Now Bailey had got motoring, no pun intended, well, pun intended probably, with the Chesil sales, and he sold a good couple of hundred, I would suspect, at least. By the time he decided he wanted to move on to pastures new after 13 or 14 years, and he sold the Chesil operation, and they just became Chesil. There was no Chesil Motor Company, Chesil Speedsters. It was just called Chesil. Sold to a new company in 2004, run by a guy called Angus McCubbin, along with his cohort Jerry Bailey. They did pretty much what Peter had done. They carried on. There was no need to reinvent the wheel, and the Baileys had it down to a T. Really, it was a smart operation. I think it's one of those where the simplicity belied the fact that it was a very sleek operation, ran smoothly, and as a great designer once said to me, and I've never forgotten it, the simplest ideas are created by the cleverest minds, and I've certainly no reason to disbelieve that, knowing what I know. Anyway, the McCubbin and Bailey carried on until 2007, when out of the blue, I think they might have, I might be speaking out of turn, I don't think I am, I think they went into administration, might have done, I think, forgive me if that's incorrect, but certainly out of the blue, another company called Tygan, Tygan, just called Tygan, Tygan, came along. So Tygan initially traded from the Chesil premises that McCubbin and Bailey had worked out of before they ceased trading. I do believe, actually thinking about it, that they acquired the assets to the company from the receiver, I think. But Tygan was a new company run by a Dorset businessman called Graham Lee. And he came along out of the blue and installed a guy called Julian Hall, who seemed to be running the company on a daily basis. They moved to a brand new premises. Now, again, I can really butcher pronunciations, I'm afraid. I don't mean to murder them. Town called, it's written Beaminster, but I think actually locals call it Beminster, BEA Minster, and that's again retained its Dorset heritage. Really, it was a born and bred Dorset product or Dorsetshire product. Tigan concentrated on fully built cars before they too ceased trading at the end of 2008, and then coming back like a knight in armour was a certain Peter Bailey, and he relaunched his Chesil Motor Company in early 2009, and certainly his return was greeted with great glee by the many owners. One thing Bailey was good was customer service, very good at customer service. He and his wife Viv worked tirelessly at that, and as I said earlier, they made it look simple when it was anything but. And it's no reason, there's no secret as to why the Chesil has become an icon in the kit car industry. Really, there's been many speedsters around, speedster replicas around, but really and truly, if someone sees any speedster, they're automatically, seemingly, going to assume that it was a Chesil. Along with the Caterham 7, Westfield's products, or Westfield as a company, and Dutton, you're probably Chesil is up there in that small handful of companies that kit car or non-kit car people have heard of. There was a major development came along in October 2010. Bailey got things running really quickly and sort of got right back where they got the company up and running again. And he announced a collaboration with an American company called Inricor, who had come up with an advanced composite chassis, CCT I think they called it, which was an aluminium and polypropylene sandwich that was offered as a high cost option, and generally just got rid of the VW Beetle floor pan, and that meant that alternative and not just Beetle derived engines could be used, which was ideal, Bailey saw, for people who wanted a more sophisticated vehicle with more potential, power and performance potential. Although I don't know if that materialised. Certainly, I think it might have been 2010, 2011. Bailey on his stand showed an Inricor chassis, or whatever, the CCT chassis that they come up with. It was absolutely a thing of beauty. But I think it was down to cost, really. I think it just didn't materialise. 2012, they were on the move. They moved along. I don't think they moved far from the original old barn Chesil Beach premises. When I say Chesil Beach, they weren't there with the sticker rock and kiss me quick hat stalls and stands and the inflatable ducks and things. No. They were up on the cliff top on the main road that ran above Chesil Beach. Let's just get that straight. And then they moved again. I think they moved along the coastline there, but still as close to Chesil Beach as it's feasibly possible to get. But I think they moved to Bridport, just down the road, in late 2013. And then things changed again, really. The old Westfield, that was the Potenza Westfield. I was aware one day that things were they were interested in adding a new product or products to their standard range, I think, and it was quite clear that Chesil was in their thinking, and so it was in 2019 that they acquired the whole Chesil project, kit caboodle, and ran that until they went into liquidation in, was it 2023? Supplied a few ICE, we mean internal combustion engine cars, i.e. Beetle powered cars, and I think there may have been a couple of electrics, but it all looked like it had fallen over when they went into liquidation, as I say, in 2023. Was it 2022? Could well have been, actually. Time flies when you're having fun. And that looked like the end of not only Westfield but of Chesil, really. The official receiver, I think, or the liquidator, wanted to keep the packages together. He wasn't going to allow anyone to cherry pick one over the other, because clearly I think people could see the writing on the wall that the Chesil in electric form was going to be, and given the what was then the 2030 green switchover, so to speak, it was going to be a very live wire project to acquire, and obvious reasons for that, and understandable. But the receiver stuck to his guns and refused to sell them separately. Enter at this stage a chap called Dr. Nigel Trilk, who specialised in resurrecting companies that are particularly small companies that got themselves into trouble but clearly had lots of potential. And I think an old boss of mine said, you can buy potential. It's on the shelf, loads of potential, fall over potential. It's realising it that is the skill. But clearly, Westfield, with what 18,000 kit sales, was an ongoing concern. With still had loads of potential, and add into that the Chesil. So Nigel, actually, I think it was a private purchase of the Westfield brand, and it was called, renamed slightly, Westfield Chesil. To allow for the fact that it wasn't just Westfields anymore. And so therefore, I think he had the intention to set up or relaunch from the Gibbons Industrial Estate site in Kings Winford near Dudley, their spiritual home for many, many years. So Nigel moved Westfield Chesil to a new premises in Bicester, along the M42 and down the M40 a short way, or 50 odd miles, to the Oxfordshire town of Bicester. Not far from Bicester Heritage, actually. And they are now offering a full package of Chesil Speedsters again, in Beetle-based form, as well as a revamp on the electric package, and those are available once more. I think the Beetle powered one is available in kit form. I'm not sure about the electric one. It could be. It may not be. I'm entirely certain is the correct answer to that. So there you have it. That's the history of the Chesil Speedster. And there are two other Chesil models that we should mention. I mean, they always took a second. They always took a back seat to the core Speedster replica. But in 1996, Peter Bailey imported for a time the a Rudolph Speedster from Germany, which was actually a 550 Spider. They offered various models. Primarily, their main car was a Carman Ghia, which was imported to the UK by a company in Cornwall called Evergreen Motor Company. That was their main model, but they also offered a 550 Spider, and Chesil for a time offered that. They launched it at the Stoneleigh show in 1990. Now, Stoneleigh show, once again, let's have a clarification alert. When us kit car types talk about Stoneleigh, we mean the National Kit Car Motor Show, which has taken place since the very early 80s. At Stoneleigh, almost uninterrupted. There was, obviously, for obvious reasons, there was the pandemic, where I think 2 years were cancelled, 2020, and maybe a late one in 2021. I can't honestly remember. I think it came back in 2022. And it had 2 more years at Stoneleigh, or 2 more runnings at Stoneleigh, and then it's moved to Malvern. But when you hear us say Stoneleigh, that was the Royal Agricultural Showground, also known as Stoneleigh Park, in the heart of England in Warwickshire. A very large showground, primarily, as the agricultural park indicates, it's a showground that's got its heritage in agriculture and agricultural shows. But it's also got some very good exhibition halls for other shows too. And that's kind of where we're at with that. And I say 2023 marked the first we shifted off to 52 miles west to the equally beautiful area of Malvern Hills, and the Three Counties Showground. So that's that spoiler alert. Anyway, 550 Spider probably made maybe 5. I think Peter told me once. I think that's what they produced of those. And then during one of the interludes away from Peter Bailey, they introduced under Jerry Angus McCubbin and Jerry Baker, introduced a RS60, which was a form of a derivative of the Speedster back in the day. Appeared briefly in 2005, early 2006, and I think indeed it appeared at our Total Kit Car live event and was doing demonstration drives. Seemed to be going very well. Not sure of the origins of that one. And it was a completely different vehicle in as much as it was aimed primarily at the burgeoning at that time track day market. And RS60 was I think it was a Porsche racer from the early 60s, obviously a 356 derived one. Weighed, I think McCubbin claimed, less than sub 500 kilos, which gave it a good power to weight ratio when you consider it had a guy, a very well known Beetle or getting teeth in, Volkswagen air-cooled expert called Arnie Levix, who was also Dorset based, and he prepared a particularly fearsome air-cooled engine for that. Car was available fully built only. I think they may have built 2. I think prices started at that time, and we're talking nearly 20 years ago, when you're listening to this in 2024, of £26,500. I'm not sure why that wasn't proceeded with, but there you have it. So I hope you've enjoyed that little video. Once again, if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. It is free, does help the channel, and if you could also hit the like button, that's the thumbs up one. That'll make me very happy personally, because it gives us confidence in what we're doing, and we're giving you what you might like to listen to. So wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is, thank you so much for giving up a chunk of your day and your valuable time. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I really look forward to welcoming you along to another episode of the Total Kit Car History Files, the Total Kit Car YouTube channel. Don't forget, TotalKitCar.com is updated. I think it's now, blimey, 23 years old now, and I've not missed a Friday update. I think it's I think that's, even if I say so myself, I'm quite impressed by that. 23 years of Fridays that I've not missed a single update. So I'm pretty proud of that. But anyway, every Friday updated, so please click on there, and you can catch up with all the news, views, and happenings in the kit car industry, specialist car industry, and also the industry or the sub-industry surrounding that, goods and services and stuff, people like that. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a great day.